You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And good evening, everybody, and thank you for entering Overtime, where it's hard to say who's busier this time of year, your friendly neighborhood sportscasters or that legion of certified public accountants and tax specialists out there fighting to help keep you out of the IRS doghouse. Of this much you can be sure: a visit here includes no tricky forms to fill out and won't take any bite out of your wallet. All my news is good, especially tonight with a plethora of talented high school wrestlers booking passage to Champaign, Columbia, and Des Moines, not to mention a potential rising junior high state champion coming out of Mount Sterling. But we begin tonight with a basketball rivalry that is starting to get back some of its lost luster, thanks to the rise, of course, of Jacksonville Crimson basketball. And with Quincy High in the midst of a 3-game losing streak coming in, our annual I-72 showdown looked to take on added significance. Early on, it would be a litmus test on the legs for J.R. Dugan's team coming off a double overtime win, a thrilling win at Sacred Heart Griffin. The Blue Devils would attack at strength, going right at the heart of the big guys, first with Luka Radovic and then Connor Mellon, back-to-back buckets. As the Blue Devils would set a tone early, they wouldn't be afraid of the Crimson's size. Right here, though, Deontay Armstrong, the doctor, is in at that point, trying to answer back for Jacksonville. Great take for him, but at the end of the first quarter, this is Martin Kvitli with a step-back buzzer beater to put the Blue Devils up 12-7. More to come in this game from Jacksonville. Peyton Dugan breaks away from everybody, going to get the finish at the other end, bucket, Band-Aid, and three-point play. But things would not go at all well in the rest of the frame for Jacksonville as Quincy High building. Mason Fairley is going to start the sequence and end it right as rain with the three right there. Jacksonville tries to answer back. It would be the big fella, Josh Peak, Andy Kaufman's nephew, the legendary Jacksonville Crimson. Tell you what, Josh Peak carving out his own legend, and then from the outside, Brandon Barlow doing his thing from the perimeter. Unfortunately for the Crimsons, that would be about as good as it would get. As in the second half, the Blue Devils come out blazing. Zach Burry knocking down the triple from the outside. More Luka right here as he gets the job done as well. The Blue Devils taking off great chunks of possession. Jacksonville never able to get a footing as the Crimsons go down to defeat 43-32. It was senior night at Blue Devil Gym, also senior night across town at the Pit. Quincy Notre Dame breaking out the big heads to celebrate. Matt Doan, Matt McPherson, and a couple of dancing Dietrichs. Oh, the kids getting wild. Early on, though, Liberty trying to spoil the affair. This is a beautiful take right there. Absolutely great stuff from Michael Blewett, but at the other end, Quincy Notre Dame going to answer. This is Alex Fitch, one of those 7 outstanding seniors with a great finish at the other end. Back and forth we go. Ike Murphin going to answer for Liberty, and Liberty would find some traction in the first quarter, building a lead. Michael Mass going to help in that endeavor. So too is Austin Mass knocking down the long three. Liberty thinking upset. Quincy Notre Dame, though, in the second quarter going to shut the door again. Alex Fitch doing his thing, getting away from a defender and finding his way free. A little back down move and the little fall away as well to finish it up. And then it's Nick Dietrich cleaning up as well. Story in this game, big third quarter as well from the big fella, Matthew McPherson, who had 12 of his 12 points in that frame. Quincy Notre Dame wins. Final count in this one, 50-40. Rivalry game taking place in the beautiful town of Arnsville. Concord Triopian route, always a splendid affair. Brent Long sets a tone there with a block, but Cole Jackson, after getting blocked, not going to back down. Sticks with it, great second effort, gets that done. At the other end, route answering with some Ryan Lindsay early. He's got a great perimeter game. He had 20 points on the night. He shows it there. Can also play a little defense. Going to hook up right here with Josiah Overton to finish the fast break. 18-12, actually 18-10, I should say, route after the first quarter. Triopia, though, would get it going. Josh Miller going to bounce inside to Mr. Jackson for the and one at that point. Route going to answer right back. Brent Long, too quick off the dribble. He's 6'8", mind you, and can really get to the basket. Great move for the big fella. But the story in this game, Tanner Huddleston came into the night with 992 career points. How about this three, putting him at 999? Eventually, he's going to get that sacred 1,000 mark. And he's going to get 23 points on the night. And most important of all, Triopia is going to get the win. Final count 58-55. We had a pair of makeup games to tell you about. First of all, it would be West Hancock knocking off a United team that really was no match. Paxton Harmon leading the way with 20 points in that ball game. Also, Payson Seymour continues the fine run of play, beating on Pittsfield. 64-50 would be your final in that ball game. Also, we've got a score from Northeast Missouri for you. North Shelby wins the Brashear tournament, beating their arch rivals from Marion County 54-51. Your final in that ball game. Lucas Daniel leading the way with 13 points in that game. The Hannibal Pirates at home, an afternoon matinee affair, their annual matinee affair with Marshall. Nate Voss trying to set an early tone, the big fellow with a great jumper. Speaking of great jumpers, just before the half, Dalton Powell gets off this buzzer beater to tie things up at 22 apiece. The third quarter, though, Hannibal was held to just 3 points, and they would be down 9, trying to stage a comeback. Who would spur it? How about some Elijah Harrison? Beautiful move right there, and the bucket and the Band-Aid to go along with it. Then Dalton Powell going to spur the comeback as well. Little felony and finger roll. Mitch Nichols going to come free, carve his way to a free bucket on the fast break as well with a three-pointer here, unguarded, and that is unabated. Good stuff from him. And Eric Hugenberg going to carve that lead even closer. It is a 2-point lead that Marshall holds at this point. How about a three-pointer from Dalton Powell to put Hannibal up 40-39. 2 minutes left, but that unfortunately would be the glory mark in this game for Hannibal. They could never get back over the top of the hump at the end. Marshall wins by the final count in this one of 46-40. More scores for you. These, my friends, of an 8th grade variety. Brown County opened its day at the state quarterfinals with a big win over St. Matthew. Carter Lewis leading the way in that ballgame with 20 points. That was the good news. The bad news, Brown County with a 4th quarter collapse in the state semifinal. And against Altamont, Brown County had a 7-point lead going into the final frame, but could not hold it. So Brown County going to play for 3rd place a little later this week. The news not good for La Harpe, although congratulations to those boys. Great showing getting to state. Unfortunately, they ran into a buzzsaw today in Laraway, who ends up eliminating their season. Men's college basketball now. Hall of Fame day at John Wood. You're looking at Rushville's Ashley Winter, who was a great softball player for the Lady Blazers. And on the right, Greg Dowdle, phenomenal pitcher in his own right for the baseball team out of Hamilton. Great guys there. And of course, it can't be a Hall of Fame ceremony without the best basketball coach in the history of the program, the man who started it all, Mike Elby, finally getting into the Hall of Fame, much deserved. John Wood would celebrate Hall of Fame Day with a Hall of Fame performance of sorts. John White trying to help that out with a move along the baseline to hit the shot and get himself to the free throw line. Good stuff for him. Story was Brad Hamilton, former KHQA Player of the Year. Deep three. That, my friends, from Alex English range, part of his 14-point effort on the day. Cortland Jackson also very good in this game with the scoopage and the stealage at the other end. John Wood ends up winning this game 55-50. The news not quite as good for Hannibal LaGrange, despite the better efforts today against Harris Stowe of one Mario Dean. Working in the low blocks, Mario Dean unstoppable. Harris Stowe couldn't get a body on him. Couldn't stop him from the offensive rebounds. Couldn't really get him to do anything. Again, he comes free here. Bucket stop. Mario Dean just getting it done. Then Herod Montgomery going to try and add to the fun right here for the Trojans. Great maneuver right here into your living room with a bucket right there from your Barca lounger. However, Harris Stowe had a 7-point lead at this point. Preston Steinhoff trying to help from the outside. He's going to end up hitting a 3 eventually after another Mario Dean bucket right here. Here comes Mr. Steinhoff draining from 3. Josh Solis with a 3 as well. But unfortunately for the Trojans, they never got back over the hump. They lose to Harris Stowe. Final count in this one, 76-64 was your final. Some men's scores to pass along today. Good news for Quincy University. This is a week where the Hawks win 2 on the road, and this may have salvaged the season as the Hawks get a 14-point effort from Tyler Thompson to help get that done today. Also, Culver Stockton for the first time since 1984-85, and for just the 4th time in school history, is a 20-game winner. Marshawn Norris spurring that one with 19 points and 7 assists. And we've got Illinois College today falling to Ripon. Final count in that one was 79-72. But we are just getting warmed up here on the Big Overtime Show. I promised you state wrestling. We've got it for you. Coming up next, lots of qualifiers, lots of great stories going into state this week. Stay tuned. More to come.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
Welcome back to Overtime, everybody. Regardless of the state from which you hail, there would be just one more wrestling meet left in your future for this season after today. It is, of course, the biggest and most important meet of them all, whether it's held at Champaign, Des Moines, or in the case of the Hannibal Pirates, the Mecca known as Columbia. Tell you what, down at Winchester College today, or at high school, I should say, the Hannibal Pirates trying to get it done. Jacob Borgmeyer out for the season with a broken ankle, but representing with a great cast. Pick it up at 106. Chandler Foey taking on Hunter Brazil of Zumwalt South. Great start for Foey in this game as he gets not one, but two quick takedowns. Kind of set the tone for this match. That 106-pounder is just lethal. Great on his feet, great on the mat as well. As you see the takedown. Already up big, but that's not good enough for him. Nearly going to pin the kid by cradling him right here for the 3 back points he would get. Interestingly, Brazil would reverse out of this position, but get overly aggressive, got too high on Chandler's back, and Foey going to make him pay for that malfeasance, putting his shoulders to the mat, sticking him for the pin. Not only would Chandler win his semifinal, as you see right there, he'd win his district title match as well. He's headed off to state at 106. But the good news was just beginning at that point for the Hannibal Pirates. Foey set the tone. Austin Janes picking it up at 113. Actually wrestling at only 104 today. Was really light weight-wise. Giving up weight to all of his competitors. Didn't matter. Taking on Joe Welker of Westminster here. And Austin working from a disadvantage to an advantage. That's good stuff today as he gets, after going down a single point, he gets control of this match with the escape and the reversal of control, and then some more back points right here. It's a 14-2 decision today for that young fella. Good for young Mr. Austin Janes, as he not only won that match, he'd win his finals as well. He's headed off to state as a district champion. His big brother, boy, there was no doubt about this one, at 126 pounds, Tyler Janes destroying Zumwalt's Eric Byers. Got the early control here and then the cradle for some, for some points early on. It wouldn't be much longer after that he'd end up securing the pin as well, picking up not only a victory in his semifinal, but like the 2 wrestlers that preceded him in the weight class, he would also go to state as a district titleist. You might remember Tyler last year got himself hurt, got himself wrestling out of the district by some miracle, wrestling in some weird style that managed to keep his very bad leg out of the equation. Tough kid. Now he's wrestling 100% healthy. I think he's a really good chance to place and show out at state coming up later this week. By the way, state starts at Mizzou Arena on Thursday. One more wrestler to show you at 145 pounds. This is Colby Collings taking on Jeff Orr of Ladue, who's a pretty big kid, pretty stout kid at 145. Collings down 1-0 early after giving up an escape, but he would turn the tables quickly after that. Nearly stuck the kid, taking an 11-2 decision to go to state as a district runner-up as he would lose his finals. One other Hannibal wrestler to mention at 220, congratulations to Kyle Muring, who goes to state as a district champion as well. Hannibal Pirates making a great showing today down at Westminster High School in St. Louis. Also, great news in Illinois. We've got many a qualifier, including today's sectional champions aplenty. But first of all, I want to tell you about Dakota Downs in 3A. Headed to state last year. Tale of woe for the poor kid as he got hurt. Didn't get a chance to qualify for state last year. He's going to state. Finished 3rd in the loaded Moline sectional at 170 pounds with a 4-2 decision over Alex Brooks. Congratulations to Quincy High's finest for his efforts in going to state. I mentioned sectional champions in 1A. Plenty of them today at Stanford Olympia. They include the Lucy brothers, Will and Jack of West Hancock. Will going for the first time as a freshman. Good for him. Also advancing on to state as a sectional champion, Antonio Quintana, as you saw there. Also, Zach Abney from Pittsfield and Matt Supernaut at 182, who is a fire right now. Good for him. Second place advancers, they include Gage Stevens of Quincy Notre Dame at 152 pounds, David Acosta, also Jeff Haley of Quincy Notre Dame, and Dakota Longley of Beardstown as well. Many, many other qualifiers, including Blake Schutte and Darren Stevens of Quincy Notre Dame, and Tucker Harn as well of Beardstown. So congratulations to everybody. And we're not done with the wrestling now in Iowa today. We take you to the 3A sectionals. 113 pounds, Fort Madison's undefeated Bryce Myers. Oh, you know he's going to be good in the quarterfinals. Right here in black, locks up the shoulders right here early and secures the quick 2 points on the takedown. You know what? Here's the neat thing about Bryce. I'm not sure he's been taken down all season. Not only is undefeated, he's unbeatable. Here he finishes another takedown, adds on some back points for a major decision, 18-3. Myers wins his class. He's now 36-0. He's headed off to state. At 120 pounds, Fort Madison's Chase Cini going to shoot the legs right here, get the ankle pick for the 2. Then he's going to earn a nice pin to advance his way and improve his record overall in the season to 33-5. He would finish on the day 3rd at 120 pounds, so good for Chase Cini. And the Hounds building some momentum, going up to 138 pounds in that quarterfinal. It is Fort Madison's Christian Dunn, He entered the day with a 28-7 season record. Second period, he will not allow his opponent to escape, riding him out before eventually catching an arm and earning a pin. He finished third on the day as well. So good stuff from the Fort Madison Bloodhounds, but they were not alone in their quest for state glory today, or at least sectional wins. At 170 pounds for the Keokuk Chiefs, in the quarters, Dakota Shaw, just a sophomore, with a quick takedown here. 10 seconds later, this quick takedown results in a pin. So he would end up on the day with the win in the quarterfinals. Dakota finishes fourth. Great showing as he makes an early splash in his career. But the big story for the Chiefs, their undefeated heavyweight, as you would expect, Alex Goss of Keokuk, here taking on Fort Madison's Trenton Wellendorf. Goss is quick to get in a position for a takedown right here for the 2, and then eventually he's going to stick Wellendorf as well. First place today for Alex as he heads back to state and remains undefeated on the season. So great wrestlers near and far today in all 3 states. The area very well represented going forward this week. Which brings us now to the Con Communications Connection Payoff moment. You know the drill at this point. Each month we give you one weekly sports coupling that is off the charts. And when the calendar turns, we ask you to vote for the best of that lot at connecttristates.com. If you vote, you're eligible to win. It's as simple as that, as our winner this month can attest. Our congratulations to Miss Tammy Kohler, who voted and wins a prize package courtesy of Con Communications for voting on her favorite connection. The best connection of the month by virtue of a ton of votes. Brianne Begeman out of Mendon Unity for her game-winning buzzer beater. It was a great month of highlights, but our congratulations to Brianne for ending January on a high note. And we're going to kick off February now on a high note with a true Con Communication connection. Took place last night between the Highland Cougars and the South Shelby Cardinals. This is Brandon Davey with one of the better passes we've seen this season. Is he going to get himself into the tall timber and find his man Austin Richmiller with a beautiful dime at this point. Again, our congratulations to Brandon Davey and Austin Richmiller, your first Con Communication connection of the month of February. 4 more to come. Be sure to vote at month's end for your favorite and your chance to win. By the way, speaking of a chance to win, our congratulations to young 17-year-old Jared Ulrich. Today, rolling bowling balls at the Tangerine Bowl in Junior League play. Jared rolled his first career 300 games. So congratulations, Mr. Ulrich. Way to show out. And do your thing, buddy. Congratulations as well. And we'll have more overtime for you, including women's college basketball, coming up after this. Well, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the high school postseason has arrived for the girls in Southeast Iowa. And Central Lee is off to a great start. Jada Matheson with 12 points in a victory over Centerville. Also in that game, Taylor Burdett had 12 points and 13 rebounds. Central Lee will play on Wednesday against Davis County in the regional semifinals. Also, the Brashear Tournament Championship goes in hard-fought fashion in Knox County. A 3-point overtime winner over Marion County. Lauren Dale leads the way with 15 points. Tough night for Marion County, which loses both the boys and girls championships. And the Hannibal Pirates, the girls get a nice win over Marshall. Anissa Elder with 12 points in that ball game to lead her team to victory. Some scores now from women's college basketball. Quincy University stays red hot, beating Rockhurst on the road 45-40. Lucy Cramsey had 14 points and 8 rebounds in that one. The women's basketball team at QU now is 13-8 on the season and 11-2 in conference play. Also, Culver Stockton today felled by Baker in a heartbreaker on the road. 76-75 was your final in that ball game. As I mentioned, Hall of Fame Day at John Wood. The John Wood women trying to put together a Hall of Fame effort. It was also Think Pink Day. Pink ball in support of breast cancer research. Second half, La Corsica Mets driving the lane and hits the nifty floater. John Wood up 17 at that point. Later, it's the Clopton product, Erica Brown finding a wide open Alicia George for 3. Oh, the Blazers letting fly. Carissa Allen going to do some passing in this one. She's going to find Shea Barrett for an easy 2. Great effort, maybe one of the best efforts of the season from the Lady Blazers as Norm Rodriguez's team pulls up its end of the bargain today. Carissa Allen with another great game in this one. John Wood wins 68-58 was your final. The Hannibal LaGrange women hosting Harris Stowe. Good day as well for Kelly Quiggle's squad as the Lady Trojans just absolutely busted up Harris Stowe. Starts with Ashley Spencer hitting the jumper from short range there, and that kind of set things in the right tone. Maddie Cunningham, great ball fake right there. When you can shoot the 3, people have to respect that. They did. They over-respected it as Maddie goes strong to the hole with the fake in the finish. Trini Thornton had herself 11 points in the day, including this 3 off great ball movement. The leading scorer for HLG today, Ashley Spencer, aforementioned. She showed you the outside move. She's got him inside as well. She can do a little bit of everything. She had 13 points as the Blazers pick up a nice win today. Final count in this one sees HLG win over Harris Stowe 62-58. 51-53 was your final. One baseball scored a pass along, actually 3 of them, but we'll just show you one. Culver Stockton swept a rare triple header today against Ecclesia College. The big game in this one, Mendon Unity product Craig Bostert with a great pitching gem today to lead his team to a 10-0 victory in the second of those 3 games.